the morning routine, the effervescent goal that we put in front of ourselves every new year and potentially every new era when we decide that we're gonna get better, we're gonna get healthier, we're gonna get control over our lives. It usually starts with the morning. So today I have combined a number of scents, fragrances, and themes and aesthetics, moods that represent morning for me. I have been diligently using my perfumes. So I'm not just giving you a run-of-the-mill marketing pyramid overview from like a teeny tiny sample that I tried and forgot about. No. These are hard-earned reviews. These little and not so little bottles and decants have lived with me for a while. So I've got some pretty strong opinions to share. When it comes to how you affect your whole morning and potentially cascading into the whole day by choosing a scent, I've conducted a number of experiments on myself, and here are the results. First and foremost, I tried random. I tried putting a few chosen ones by the nightstand. I tried delaying putting on the perfume until I went into a shower or at least had a cup of coffee, so to have some period when you're not bombarded with any information whatsoever. And in my experience, the most effective strategy of setting up the mood for the morning is to use a scent, but to use the same scent for a chosen period of time. Let me illustrate. Here it is. My contribution to Last Drops, 50 ml Gone Rose Privé by L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is an old school packaging with very heavy metal golden lid. Exquisite quality of packaging, I must say. Even has laser engravings and all that good stuff. Rose Privé is in my view, super underrepresented morning fresh green rose on the market, and one of the L'Artisan Parfumeurs that needs more attention, in my opinion, because not only it's beautiful, it's bright, it has diffusion, it has decent longevity, I must say, but it also has a very of the now aesthetic composition of fresh, zesty garden rose with basilic. So the green aspect, somewhat vegetative, juicy, very refreshing, but not your usual suspects such as bergamot or citrusy something, or maybe just sour musks, this vinegarish fresh rose composition that's I think Chloe made so popular. So this to me has unique composition, good technical performance, and very much of the now kitchen smells, vegetative smells. Beautiful. That said, I used it consistently for probably, I would dare say, a month until I killed my bottle. And as I told you, I already got myself a replacement, and I managed to find an old edition. If it's still there, I'll try to leave a link below, because I mean, I like new packaging. It's pretty cool. It's more monochrome and like darker glass. It's cool. But there is something so satisfyingly regal about the old school packaging of L'Artisan Parfumeur. And you also know that this is the old formulas before all of the IFRA reformulations, when fortunately for people with allergies, unfortunately for those of us who are into old school niche, hardcore ingredients that really deliver, not necessarily in terms of loudness, but in terms of complexity, performance through time, this dynamism that you get. So if you can, try to find an old school bottle, because you get not only 100 ml, and I think I might be mistaken, but it was under $100, with a body, with a couple of body products. This one is moisturizing body lotion. I already used it. I checked it. It's good quality. It smells like the perfume and it performs well as a body lotion. We all know of many unfortunate cases when perfume houses come up with body product line and it just sucks. To give you one example, never ever, don't do this to yourself. Don't even try to buy a body product from Salvador Dali. I've done it a number of times. It is crap. It is just absolute crap. Unbelievably bad stuff. It doesn't smell like the perfumes. It's just the most weird mineral oil, greasy, non-moisturized, like really weird stuff. I don't understand what this was for and for whom and why does it exist. That said, there are companies that put a lot of care into the way that they make body products, including dedicated body products for specific perfume houses. And I must say, good stuff, legit. So, the Rose Privé as a green fresh rose to me is the epitome of a morning scent. When I used it consistently for a number of weeks, I realized it became a little easier for me to get up. I felt a little bit more of this anticipated pleasure. It was almost like that first cup of tea, first cup of coffee, whatever, one little ritual that you can create for yourself that you're looking forward to every morning. I was looking forward to this fresh basilic zesty green rose scent because I knew I dedicated that scent specifically for waking up. That said, I have a whole collection of varying morning scents that I've tried. They all have slightly different moods and different aesthetics, so let's go through them. Florals. A very unfortunate purchase for me, which I ended up using as a bathroom scent. I tried to still use it as a morning scent. Penhaligon's Peony is rumored, allegedly, one of the best perfume representations of peonies as florals. However, I already reported that before. I had an allergic reaction. I bought it secondhand from somebody. Maybe they didn't store it correctly. I don't know. But it's been now not coincidental that the only times when I had a skin reaction to spraying a perfume was Penhaligon's. The only brand when it happened. I don't know. There's something about their formulas, I think. So Peony, to me, I never got to experience it full force because I was allergic, so I was sprayed in the air. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it is the best peony scent on the market. What is? I haven't found it yet. When I find it, I'll tell you. Peony is one of those florals, similar to lilacs, I dare say, that it's a muddy chemical composition. There are so many chemicals that are shared between peony and other florals. And when you go strictly down to chemistry of how you compose perfume accords, peony shares a lot with, with roses, with many other florals. So does lilac. So it for some reason, a lot of perfumers are dismissive toward lilacs and peonies. I was like, yeah, it's just one of those muddy florals. Just throw in whatever you have left and you'll be fine. I respectfully disagree. I've spent a whole year, and I think I have like 3 videos about lilacs in perfumery, me exploring and looking high and low. And we're going to talk about it just now. So we're done with peonies. Okay, let me finish with the Peony of Penhaligon's. No, I don't think it's worth really the money that they're asking for it. I don't think it's something that you need to hunt down because I think it's discontinued. So yeah, that was a disappointment, and the scent profile that I will continue to carefully study without any rush. Hopefully, guys, I'll deliver you a really good guide to peony in perfumery, but Peony by Penhaligon's is not going to be in it. Just saying, straight up. That said, florals for the morning, generally a good idea, especially in my not so humble opinion, for the weekends. Because I find those flowy light florals, they set me up for a little bit more of a sensual and hopeful and romantic awakening. I'm not sure this is what I'm looking for to drag me out of bed on the weekdays, but it might work for you. I guess it's too romantic and relaxed to help me summon the bravery for the day ahead. That said, lilacs. I was searching high and low. I made a number of guides, so you can watch them on the YouTube channel Maria Meliora. And one of the high-end lilacs that is rumored to be really, really good, like the most unbelievably beautiful lilacs, is by the master of nature-inspired perfumes, Olivia Giacobetti, for the brand of Frederic Malle, and the fragrance is called En Passant. I bought it secondhand, and again, it went bad on me. No allergic reactions, but the top notes got beaten. If you ever bought a vintage perfume, you know what I'm talking about. It's when the notes that are supposed to give you the hanger appeal, the fresh or spicy or something, those things that are very fleeting and unfortunately have fairly reactive, the top notes usually go bust first in perfumes. And unfortunately, a lot of perfumes that are fresh in nature tend to have a shorter shelf life because they're mostly composed of a lot of those top notes. En Passant doesn't have a good shelf life. Here it is, I said it. And I dare say, as lovely watery lilac as it is, I don't think it's the best lilac on the market. For the price tag of $200 and $300, you can get something incredibly believable, much cheaper. And for those of you who live in Europe, you probably can get your hands on Bracar, Lilac After Rain. I guess to get it here would be nearly contraband in the United States, but there is another one. If you can find it, a beautiful alternative, in my view, more haute perfumery, more interesting, and still very believably lilac. This is Lilac Exquis by Jacques Fath Essentials line. I got it on the gray market because, honest to God, I still don't know what's going on with their marketing and like what is the distribution logic of a lot of niche brands like this. If you can find it on the gray market, you likely will get it for half price. If you can't, maybe there is an official distribution. Let me know if you're connected with a brand or you know more about the distribution of perfumery. Let me know any inside scoop. Lilac Exquis is, in my view, a little bit more imaginative. It's a little less of a watercolor realistic painting of lilacs after rain, but it definitely delivers on the aesthetics of lilacs, that soothing, naive, romantic, flowy feeling. It delivers to the T. I see absolutely no point spending that much money on a perfume that will go bad within a couple of years if you can get this. But I finished up, I think I used up roughly 15 to 20 mil, and other 15 milliliters I just used up just spraying the linens. Unfortunately, once the top notes of a lilac perfume go bad, that's the same with other light florals like Peony. It's just not the same ride. A lot of heavier perfumes like amber type of perfumes or shippers survive that sad fate if their top notes are beaten. You can still use those shippers, and again, a lot of vintage lovers are perfectly fine with that aspect. They actually prefer that almost as a style of composition. I am more into a balanced composition. I'm not a vintage lover. I like really good opening, and I appreciate a solid base. So I don't think Frederic Malle En Passant is worth looking into for me. Again, perfectly fine with this one. And if I run out of the Lilac Exquis by Jacques Fath, I will probably try to summon help in Europe and get myself Brocar, because that one is cheap, beautiful, and very believable lilac. So a lot of those type of florals I find are great to start your day in a kind of a romantic sense, with one exception: yellow florals. Yellow florals, I made a whole guide on yellow florals, what they are really as a genre, like what are the most notable accords and notes, and the perfumes that I think are worth your attention and the money from your wallet. So the yellow florals, to be repurposed for the morning routine, it sort of creates a more of a stern, a little more determined feeling to me. And I chose two to wear in the morning that had either that green anisetic, slightly zesty quality to them, or at least not sweet. Because yellow florals do really tend to go the way the perfumers compose scents in that genre. They tend to go into this honeyed, sweet, harvesty mode. So it's very sunny, floral, maybe a little bit zesty or a little bit tannin in a sense, but usually with this block of well-rounded, subtle sweetness, honey-like sweetness, or maybe maple syrup type of sweetness. So I wanted my morning, I just can't see myself wearing gourmands in the morning. Maybe it will change. But sweet perfumes in the morning for me just don't work. That's just one category. No. I'm not against it in theory. And maybe there is some cognitive pathway into a good mood that can be created there. But I just don't I can't fathom wearing heavy gourmands in the morning. So the yellow florals that I picked that would have the morning quality and get you a little bit more of and this sturdy, okay, let's get going feeling, were Dolce & Gabbana Velvet Mimosa Bloom. I only used up 2 ml of it, but it is the perfect mimosa. It's not easy to find. If you know, you know, right? In the description, there is a link where you can find it. However, this whole boutique line by Dolce & Gabbana went with mixed reviews because, and I think it's a fair criticism, most of them severely lack technical performance. They are so quiet. They don't have much of a development in time or in space. I'm all for whispers in your ear type of perfumery, but for the price that they wanted, for the lack of originality, no diffusion, no longevity, there are quiet perfumes that last a long time, and there are very diffusive perfumes that don't. Either way, there has to be some cohesion to what it smells like, how it behaves, the price tag, right, and the overall line conceptual goal. It seemed like a cash grab by Dolce & Gabbana, and I think it was. But even in the line like that is generally was disappointing for most in perfume community, the Velvet Mimosa Bloom, in my view, went under the radar, but it is incredible mimosa scent. A lot of mimosas, when they are wrapped in a fragrance, tend to go into makeup-y, this rounded lipstick scent, or very sweetened, again, honeyed yellow floral with a lot of additions of other accords. I wanted pure mimosa branches as I remembered them from my childhood. And mimosa branches, it's not just this powdery, sweet-ish pollen-like mimosa scent. You also get this green, zesty, it's almost like chewing on the branches feel. And I wanted to get that in a perfume. And this is the only perfume I know of that delivers of all aspects of Mimosa bouquet. I really enjoyed the 2 ml. I am considering it for February as my morning scent. I need a scent for maybe not February. The second half of January is going to be tough for me in the sense that I will have to push myself a lot. I'll have to find a scent that allows me to, I dare say, almost get angry in the morning, just because that's how it's gonna be. I would need to find how to pull energy from the dark side, from my shadow, in order to reinvent the wheel, maybe defend myself from certain problems that are happening, and also push forward, but push forward way more aggressively than I've done before. If you have any accords or perfumes or suggestions, I guess shippers, like Sisley shippers, are always a good idea. They are very stern, they're very aggressive, they're very bitchy. But Mimosa, like zesty and acidic, almost like polishingly gritty Mimosa, it's a good companion for that mood, I think. The other yellow floral that I tried for the morning, for something a little bit more meditatively happy and balanced. Imagine like you're waking up to the smell of fresh pancakes. That was Penhaligon's Astara. And I used up 3 ml. Astara was crowned as the best of Daffodils. I like Daffodils, and I picked them specifically for the same cool combination of green, but Daffodils, the green aspects of Daffodils is very much stems that are soaked with water. This slightly powdery, slightly leathery almost aspect of Daffodils plus watery greenness of stems is well captured in Astara, though this one is a little bit more honeyed. Like, this is a happier type of daffodil than some other daffodils out in the market. In my view, Astara is probably in the top 3 daffodils still, if you can find it. Great, a happy scent. It's like a sunny Sunday morning, but I don't think it's the yellow floral for a Sunday morning. I still am missing that wake up effect with Astara. Another fresh floral, you're probably sitting there waiting when I'm going to say it, is Morning Jasmine. Jasmine has a lot of aspects as a composition, and the flower itself usually is considered to be heavier, animalic, sensual type of a white floral. It often exists in perfumery. There are probably tens of thousands of perfumes that are centric around jasmine, but it does have a faction. There is a type of accord that you can compose that makes you think of jasmine, that has this fresh, metallic, very fluid, but very light frequency. And a beautiful representation of that is Atelier Bloem Half Moon. In my experiment, I used up 5 ml of that. And what can I say? It is a beautiful light jasmine that doesn't go too metallic. It doesn't, and also some people complain that a very light metallic jasmine to them almost transitions to smelling like blood or smelling like pee, like something unpleasant. It can happen if animalic aspects of jasmine accord are combined in unfortunate sense with its metallic aspects. It can start smelling like pee or blood almost, but not this one. That said, Atelier Bloem, as much as I love them for their watercolor compositions, if you are a cologne person, if you love Jo Malone and you're looking for something a little bit more niche, a little bit more rare, a little bit more delicate, a little bit more exquisitely assembled, Florals by Atelier Bleu are out of this world beautiful. That said, they're very watercolory. I used up 5 ml because I was bathing in this perfume. It seemed to fly away from my nose within half an hour. Was that a beautiful way to wake up? Yes, but it was incredibly fleeting. And sometimes that is desired. Sometimes you want your morning scent to last, to carry you through the hardest couple of hours when you're trying to do a lot or get ready very quickly. And sometimes you just want this little puff of something, just eye-widening effect, which it definitely has, and then go away so you can put on something else or focus on other scents. For example, I truly enjoy the smells of my breakfast, often, especially if it's pancakes. There's nothing. I don't want to wear a perfume when I'm making pancakes because the smells of the kitchen are just enough. And if you use ghee instead of butter, there's something about how it mixes with the scent of pancakes and yogurt and honey that I put on it. Oh, so good. Anyway, sometimes you want it to be fleeting and to be light and then transition to something else. Then these fragrances are your best friends. So Morning Jasmine definitely has a place to be. I really enjoyed it, but it was not memorable enough. As I said, it was so fleeting that I can't really say that that's like top 5, recommendation. Something that lasts forever and yet has this incredibly fresh, sour berry-like landing is Folle by Cartier. This is Haute Perfumery by Cartier. I think you can try it only in Cartier boutiques. I got myself a bottle. I already used up quite a bit. And for this experiment, I used up, this is either 3 or 4 mil. I think this is 4 mil. 4 mil of L'Heure Folle 10. This is the 10th hour. Some people criticize it for being too much of a tutti frutti, candy berry scent. But to me, it combines so well with something like mint, lemongrass, bergamot. It has this beautiful limey aspect without going full on citrus. I love fall, and for something that banks on all of those light, fresh, green, sour, sweet notes, it has an amazing longevity. It can last you 6 hours. So if you're looking for something like that to take you all the way through morning and to the lunchtime so you can maybe shake things up, Folle is one of the best fresh berries I've ever found. I still don't have anything that would compare with it, and I've tried a few berry scents. And now that we're touching the berry territory, as I mentioned before, I was trying to avoid sweet edible floral situation. So I was picking sour berries. I was thinking as part of my experiment, what berries would really go well? Potentially blackberry, but only if it's the aspect of it that is fresh. So the 2 perfumes that I tested for the morning was Brocard Blackcurrant and Mint. That is a European brand, Eastern European Brocard. I have it in the old packaging, which was acquired years ago, and I'm treasuring it, even though waters like that don't have a long shelf life, so I probably should get going. I have to at this point. It is mind-blowing to me how good these are compared to like the prices of them. I think in the good old days they were $5-10 100 ml. especially when comparing these fresh blackcurrant leaves. Think these like leaves, aromatic aspects of blackcurrant, and a little bit of the berries without the sweetness of blackcurrant jam or syrup or preserves. When you compare it with much more expensive but yet quality niche, this is not ostensibly overpriced, Perry Monte Carlo Lavender Romaine. Here we get the same attempt at pulling freshness and aromatic nature of blackcurrant, and to support its lightness, it's paired with Highland lavender and maybe a little bit of a musk, but not heavy skin like musk, nothing heavy, more like a sour white musk territory. Two different compositions attempting at, in my view, very similar take on blackcurrant, both succeeding wildly. I loved both of them. So I used up 3 ml of blackcurrant and mint and 5 ml of lavender romaine. I had quite a long period with blackcurrant, that's for sure. And what can I say? I do ever so slightly prefer the mint combination with the blackcurrant. It just lands a little bit more soothingly to me. Maybe it's just the subtle freshness yet sweetness of mint that makes it oh so satisfying. Maybe it's the natural expertise that Eastern European perfumers and brands do have with evaluating scent compositions that reference blackcurrant, because it's very familiar scent profile to people there. Maybe it's the lavender here. I actually don't have a lot of criticism toward lavender romaine. I love it. It's just lavender plus blackcurrant fresh edition, or mint plus blackcurrant fresh edition. Mint just lands better for me, but I love them both. So either way, you might not have access to Brocard, the blackcurrant and mint, but you'll definitely find lavender romaine. And for the prices, as we observe them skyrocketing for, at this point, no real reason, Perry Monte Carlo is a quality brand. Quality compositions, they might be not the most imaginative, but they're really good, solid, dimensional, satisfyingly delivering to the name of each perfume. So that's to the berries. Blackcurrant and just the general berry accord and Cartier Folle. If we're talking about fresh, zesty, long-lasting berries, Cartier. Cartier Le Folle 10th Hour, it's where it's at. There's no competition. Then I started thinking, all right, what other opening your lungs, opening your eyes, giving you this fresh push accords can we think of? Obviously, you cannot avoid talking about citruses, but this is the very category I was not particularly thrilled by. I am not a Italian cologne formula gal. I do not thrive on all these lemons, bergamots, and like other citrusy, very in your face citrusy compositions. It's just not, it's a bit too been there, done that for me right now. If it changes, I'll definitely give you my run through and the ranking of the best. So I started looking for twists. Obviously, citrus notes they deserve to be in the morning glory category. So I thought, okay, what about lemon tea and ginger? Since I was in a ginger kick last year, I decided to double test my resolve, how much I actually do like ginger as a morning ritual. I have Floraico in its refill form. It's 100 ml because they are quite expensive and I was buying it blindly. So I decanted 3 more ml and used it exclusively in the morning. Here we have lemon tea plus warmed up ginger. So this is a lemon tea, mate tea, green tea, lemon, ginger scent. I loved it in the morning. It really does a good job. And there is a beautiful cologne by Prada, Eau de Gingerbread, that's available everywhere, that you can always try if you don't want to go through the hunting phase of finding niche gingers. But there's something that this one, and it's called I'm Coming Home, by the way. I'm Coming Home, Florico. There's something in this lemon tea plus ginger that to me reminds me of ancient drawings, Japanese drawings, when they would draw clouds as squiggles. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those like ancient Asian fairy tales with illustrations where clouds would be drawn as these little swirls. It has a very precise, almost forceful, delicate balance between all of the components, and yet it's very quiet. To my spoiled European perception, I would enjoy a little bit more of a diffusion, not gonna lie. But the bonsai tortured precision with which this is constructed to balance all of these components and just sit there quietly, amusing you with this calligraphy, that it's very calligraphic in its composition perfume. And maybe the fact that it's so skin-like and quiet makes sense conceptually. I'm just saying, if you're looking for flowy, diffusive ginger, which a lot of us, when think about fresh spice, ginger comes to mind. If you want that into your morning, I'm Coming Home is not going to deliver that. But if you want that cerebral, calligraphic illustration of tea ceremony with a ginger, this might be it. I enjoyed it tremendously. So I think when it comes to fresh spicy ginger, it's in. I think the morning rituals will be that much more spirited if you add ginger to your morning. It's a good idea, and I have a whole episode about ginger, what it is, what genres exist, and what can we find on the market that features ginger. You can watch it on Perfume Nation podcast. A few more citruses still managed to sneak in into my morning routine experiment, and I thought maybe bitter orange, maybe all these petitgrain yuzu scents, maybe that will do the trick if I want to avoid obvious oranges and lemons. So I used up 2 decants samples by Mancera, Fabulous Yuzu. It's a very fizzy scent. It's like pop. It's like very soda. It has this soda fakeness and sweetness that at first was fun, but it was not really helping me in the morning. I felt like, it was putting me in this childish, happy mood that I would just snooze 10 times. It's sometimes how perception works. If something gives you the perception of, I don't want to go to school, it was not helpful. It's fun, it's childish, but it's not good for my morning. I need something a little bit more disciplining for my morning. Fabulous Yuzu by Mancera, fun, sparkly, sweet, bitter orange soda. I would probably not enjoy it in the full-size bottle, but as a little experiment of 4 ml, it was fine. And here is the citrus twist that I am dying for. This is my either second or third 8 ml decant of Room 1015 Sweet Leaf. I know it's too late to ask Secret Santa for a gift, but I'm just gonna put it out there. If there is a Secret Santa and he thinks I was a good girl last year, maybe I'll open my mailbox and find Sweet Leaf in it. Room 1015 Sweet Leaf, devoted to freshened up with grapefruit marijuana scent. I do smell pot in here, but not the heavy the heavy pot, the smoke that you detect with pot smokers, it's very aromatic, essentially. It's very fresh, aromatic. It's not intrusive. It's not suggestive of anything. So it's, I dare say, office appropriate scent that features this olfactory genre. But the grapefruit, with combination with this, I guess, marijuana accord, we shall call it, because it's still a fairly abstract chemical composition that perceptually takes you there. You know what I mean? Combining grapefruit with that gives this, it's like mint plus lime, but with sweet bitterness of grapefruit and this aromatic, minty, refreshing, and yet soothing base of marijuana accord. I freaking love it. I love it. It's unbelievably good. I keep buying decants from Scentbird, and I need to make my mind. I can't find it for a good price secondhand. And I don't know if asking Secret Santa is gonna yield any results. So there is a high chance you'll see a sweet leaf in the hole sometime in the future. I love it. When it comes to twisted morning citrus, this is probably the most unusual yet easy to wear combo I've found. Out of everything that I showed you today, it's probably in the top 3. Yeah, that's how much I love it. And the last one I'm gonna show you, I used up 5 ml of Salvador Dali Laguna. I was looking for something aromatic, but removed from colognes, specific florals or fougères. Laguna is an incredibly cheap perfume that is exquisitely packaged, and it's one of the few in the budget Salvador Dali line that it has niche quality to it. It's a linear perfume. It's a mono accord. To me, it doesn't change at all through time. It's the first thing you get when you get a whiff. That's exactly how it's going to smell all the way throughout. It's just going to get lower the volume. It is breathing in a sense that makes me think of the coastal forests, and yet it's abstract. If I was looking for the most believable salt air plus pines perfume, I would not go for Laguna. And yet Laguna has such a satisfying, somewhat futuristic, abstract quality to it that it still delivers the mood without really delivering on the naturalness of each component. I mean, the packaging though, that in itself is just amazing. This is the best perfume Salvador Dali made as a brand, and 50% of success was how they chose the packaging. It was beautiful for me on the mornings when I wanted to wander in my robe with a glass of sparkling water at first, then to sit outside and read a page and a half of something, to only switch to coffee, and then think, well, it's been 3 hours, maybe I should take a shower. No, I think I will eat breakfast first, then read some more, and maybe then shower. And then it's way into the afternoon and you're only taking your morning shower. So that's the mood it puts me in. It's this breathability, this coastal feel to it. Just makes me think of flying somewhere, renting a villa in my dreams. And just having those Dolce Vita mornings. And, I mean, don't you want that bottle? Come on, be honest. What's coming next in my morning routine experimentation? I already got a few candidates lined up. I want to run them by you and see if you guys have any suggestions, corrections, or add-ons. So, citruses will be lurking somewhere in the background. Maybe I will find something that's worth bringing to your attention. But as I said, generally, classic choice. Not going to criticize that. Too boring for me. So I'm thinking, I already went So when it comes to fresh spices, I only explore ginger. So I'm thinking anything black pepper, but with some other component that brings that freshness to it. So I will be thinking about spicy but fresh. I'm thinking carnation, because it often can be found with carnation as a floral. It's soothing, it's unusual. It's not your usual rose, and it can be made lighter, made fresh, just like Half Moon is a light jasmine. Fresh light carnation or fresh spicy carnation. I'm thinking bitter, aromatic fragrances that are not boring. So no vetivers. I'm thinking wormweed, like absinthe. Something that is giving you this dry but yet fresh, flowy herb or herbaceous scent without taking it to fougere formula, lavender, something herbal. I want it to be nouveau fougere, if you wish. I don't want it to be aftershave. So I'm thinking absinthe, wormweed, dry herbs, but it has to be fresh. It has to open your lungs. Carnations, black pepper, absinthe, wormweed maybe, or other bitter herbs. Maybe even shippers, but I would have to go with contemporary shippers. Those that are very, very flowy and light. They often combine aldehydes, but like bitter champagne style, like sort of like a champagne smell aldehydes with this bitter sour system of the composition of a shipper. So that could be explored and see if that works. As I said, I'm currently looking for things that are very grown up, almost aggressive, maybe angry, maybe just a little stern, but definitely some genres, some compositions that can pull us out of the slump, out of hibernation, out of depression, out of apathy, out of fear, out of anxiety. Something just shapes your mood right there when you wake up. If you have submissions to the morning routine part 2, please leave your comments below. There is also a mailbox that you can send your decants. Sometimes subscribers send me decants to review. So if you want to contribute to this series, the morning routine, then let's talk. And with that, I think it's time to say thank you for your time spent together, for your attention, for your generosity, for your support. It really matters a lot, especially at my scale. Every like does matter. It makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for this podcast, for this channel, everything that we've done for each other. I think whole winter we should be celebrating the start of a new year. I've heard that in more and more cities, they tend to leave Christmas ornaments for longer now these days because people crave celebration. And if you think about it, it's unfair. It's unfair for us to prepare so much for the winter solstice, for the new year, for the winter season, only for all of it to be done within a week. So I'm all in for it. Let's celebrate winter. Let's celebrate New Year up until the spring comes. We deserve it. We need it. And certainly the times are calling for it. You know what I mean? And with that, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be waiting not so patiently for your comments. And I'll see you in the next one.